he got upset. He got upset, he started acting up and so forth. I don't know what happened, when it happened. I saw stars. Sengishayiwe manje with the fist. Now I'm bleeding. Like, yo, that was quick. It was first a fist. And while I was still trying to comprehend the fist and holding on to my eye, his hand is now in the cubby hole where his state firearm was. Which is another red flag which I should have seen, because this guy, the whole time we were at ARWS, he was obviously wearing shorts and whatnot. But his firearm was in my handbag.
All the time?
All the time. No, I knew about it. I knew, yes. But it should have raised questions, because I don't think that is how you handle a gun. And when we met later, what's he give me? That's when I saw him to figure semi-soft. If it was the old so-and-so, I don't want to say his name. If it was the old so-and-so, ngabe kudala ngikubulele wena. Boys and saps arrive. Funny enough, they were ladies. I narrate the story to them, and when they learned that he's one of their own, they were like, Sisi, this is a domestic issue.
You good now?
Are you comfortable with this, Zulu?
I saw you can speak multiple languages.
I do speak multiple.
Tswana, Sindebele.
No. Tswana, Pedi, Tsonga, Xhosa.
Oh, bulabula Shangana.
Yeah, nabulabula nyana la
Ngabulabula. Ngabulabula. Siso mina.
No, angibulabuli, don't take me.
Unjani ukhona?
Fokile mnjani?
Washikota ukubulabula Shangana.
Nashitonyana na Jones.
Oh, you can speak multiple languages.
I'm learning to speak multiple languages. I love languages.
Yeah.
I do.
So you can speak Setswana, ukhona ubulala Setswana.
Ke khona ubulela Setswana, ke khona ubulela Spitori, khuluma isiZulu, ndiyathetha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are like me, because I can speak like probably 4 languages. Wow. So I'm half Mozambican. I can also speak a bit of Portuguese.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I just the best thing is that I can speak to a lot of people in South Africa.
No way.
So that's the best thing ever. Yeah. I would actually love to have an interview whereby we just speak in Tsonga. You know,
I would love to be fluent enough to be comfortable to speak in Tsonga.
Is it?
Yeah, I understand, but then responding.
Yeah. Please tell me about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from?
Unomasonto is... I'm just a simple girl, wasemakhaya. I'm originally from Nkandla. I was born in Nkandla to a teen mom. She was matriculating at the time. So I was raised by my grandparents. For the longest time, I thought my mom was my sister, because I used to call her Sisi. And I grew up in a very close-knit family, very loving family, Diepkloof. Okay. Raised by ugogo nomkhulu, living with my uncles. Mom was the only female besides the matriarch, ugogo, obviously. So I gravitated more towards the gents. I was my uncle's niece. Yeah, like I wasn't a typical girl with dolls and all those fancy things. I was more tomboyish. I never had dolls. It was rollerblades, skateboards, bicycle. So yeah, ngintombazane yasemakhaya from Nkandla. I grew up in Diepkloof because my granddad was working Joburg Gen for the longest time. So I was raised by them. Yeah, I went to school here in Johannesburg.
Nkandla KwaZulu.
Nkandla KwaZulu, rural KZN, not so far from our former president.
Yeah. You know, for some reason, I actually thought Nkandla. It's actually his own kingdom. You know, for some, I didn't think that it's a village. It's an area actually.
It's more like a country. Nkandla is very massive. But funny enough, in town we only have one traffic light, and it's a pedestrian traffic light. Nkandla is very big, hey? It's very huge. Like, to get from one end of Nkandla to another, driving, it could easily be 2 hours. It's very big.
Wow, man. Yeah. I would love to go there just to, meet the people. I'm sure Nkandla has some interesting people.
Ah, very interesting. I'm
people.
happy to host. Very interesting,
Yeah.
very beautiful landscapes. It's amazing.
Growing up in the household that you grew up in, how was it like? Because some of us, we grew up with single mothers. It wasn't that easy, but we found a way to make it a norm, to say, this is my mom, this is also my father.
Yeah. I learned later in life that I was raised by a single mom because angikubonanga lokho. I wasn't really exposed to it. My granddad was my father. My grandmother was my mom. I grew up in a very beautiful household.
Yeah.
3-room yasekhaya. I still try to figure out how we made it work, but it was just so beautiful. It was comfortable, especially in winter. I do get a bit nostalgic, especially when I smell fire, like because we had this welcome Dover, that old charcoal stove.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, man. I had it transport. It was safe. I could go to school, come back. Mangifika endlini kungenamuntu. Just casually walk into my neighbors. I know I'll get a meal. I'll get to change. I wouldn't have to worry ukuthi gate lasekhaya likhiwe, because obviously there was no means of communicating and saying, oh, we're not going to be home and so forth. So yeah, it was beautiful. It was a fun household. I had uncles who were twins. The second one passed on just 2 years ago.
Condolences.
Thank you. So it was a beautiful household. My uncles, they made me a boy. Like I say, I was one of them. Like they were pranksters. As a result, I became a bit of a prankster myself.
Yeah.
Like we'd sit around the fire, especially Masis and Kandla. We'd sit around the fire and there was no electricity. So they would take a candle and drip the candle wax on me, like, hey, siyakukhulisa type of thing. When I do good, I'd come home to a new stack of cards or a new toy car, or I was one of them. I was one of the boys.
God works in different ways, when I look at your story, because the tough love that you're supposed to receive from your actual father, you're getting it from your uncles. Not even one uncle, but two identical uncles.
Yeah,
That's like double potion.
Yo, that was amazing. That was amazing. I do have another uncle, but then he's a police officer, so he was in training at Manskraal for
That's
the
where I'm
longest
from,
time.
actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he trained there for the longest time, and it was during the apartheid era, because whenever he'd have to come home, Umkhulu would have to hide him, because back in that time, being a black officer, automatically uyimpimpi. So whenever Umalume was visiting home, it had to be very discreet, like to a point where I learned ukuthi I can't ngixoxe ukuthi umalume ukhona and so forth, just to protect him, because he's black, usebenza with the other race, uyiphoyisa, uyimpimpi, you coming here to sniff out information. At a later stage, I learned who my uncle really was. But when I was younger, I didn't know, because he was never home. I just saw his pictures, like looking all neat, yabona, in his uniform. And they were wearing, it was compulsory to have your hat on. As an officer, it was compulsory to have a clean shave all the time. So later in life, because growing up at Diepkloof, Soweto, I learned later in life, okay, my uncle became part of my identity. Because when people would ask, "Usonto wakuphi? Kundima lo wekhata?" type of thing, people were very scared of my uncle, because he was a no-nonsense cop, friend or no friend. My uncle's arrested one of his own friends. He was...
Are you serious?
Yeah, he has.
That was a true cop, eh?
Yeah, he has. My uncle would come in when my other uncles, the twins, and I were playing Izwipi. I don't know if you know Izwipi, where you spin a coin and guess whether it's hit. Yo, he would reprimand us and threaten us. This is illegal, because when I question him about it now, he would say, "Lento ilidele ekutheni ugcine udlala amadayisi, nana." So we were not even allowed to play that in the house, especially ume khona, we do it behind his back. Yeah.
Is he still a cop?
He's going to be retiring with amaphoyisa. You retire on your birth month. So he's retiring this year in December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later on in your life, you met a cop who saw a beautiful lady, Usonto, just walking by. I don't know how you guys met, but I'm sure when you guys met, you felt like, oh, it's something that I'm used to. My uncle is a cop, and he has a guy who's a cop, so I'm part of the cops community.
Funny you should say that. My dad is a cop. And when I met this cop who saw Unomasonto, I was with my uncle, the cop, like I said, very tomboyish. I don't know why people perceive me as a lady, young as what a
Yeah,
lady is
but you
supposed
do
to.
look like a lady.
Yeah, I'm just your typical girl. So sasihleli nomalume enyameni yenhloko. I was bored on that day. And I call umalume like, yo, Ndima, isishayile is like, hey, ngilambile. I'm like, great, let's go grab inyama yenhloko.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to tag along if it's your lunch. So here's an invite. And we went to this place where I enjoy chilling, and we were having inyama yenhloko. And then I met this other cop. He was there for his lunch or whatever it is that he was doing. Um, Tsonga gentleman. I'll use the word gentleman.
Yeah.
I thought at the time.
So that's where you learned Tsonga.
I'd learned it prior because my mom married a Tsonga man, my stepdad, whom I loved very much. May his soul rest in peace. So he used to take me Kamalamlela, Kakaola.
Agian.
Yes, he used
Yeah.
to take me Agiani. I remember this one time when he took me there, and the neighbors were excited to see me, and they welcomed me with amasonja, and they were like crawling on the tray. Did I
Nagush.
not run for
Yeah.
my life?
I'm sure they even gave you gush.
They did, but I ran away from the masonja because I remember them saying, "Chabela shabo." I'm terrified of worms. I'm scared of even something as small as a maggot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I started learning Istsonga. And when I spoke to this gentleman, he obviously approached me, offered me a drink, I think, or us. I can't remember the whole thing, but we met Enyameni and Togo. Yeah.
Can you explain the new love that you experience? Because, hey, new love, you know how it is. Like, it's hot. You guys go up and down, flowers and all that. But tell me about the new love.
Hot in every sense of the word because
Yeah.
it showed me flames.
Oh,
Hot in every sense of the word. So I met this gentleman. It was late in the year, October, if I'm not, no, end of September. And it was going to be my sister's birthday party the next weekend. So my sister's birthday is on the 6th of October. Gentleman's birthday is on the 7th. So I was like, he asked me out for that weekend. I was like, I kind of already have plans with my sister, but you're more than welcome to tag along. It's nothing hectic, just a group of friends. We're going to have a braai and so forth. So he agreed to that. Excuse me. So on that Saturday morning, he calls me. He's like, I need to do something quickly. Please send me location. So I was like, oh, okay. So should I drive myself? And he was like, please do. I'll catch up with you because we had planned to drive there together to Centurion coming from Edipkloof. And then I drove there. It happened that he wasn't so far behind me. I stopped at a filling station in Braam just to fill up. And as I'm filling up, how? Dude, when did you get here so fast and what are you doing here? Driving a state vehicle at the time. So we go to a Centurion, we have fun, and then we drove back later on. When we drove back, my birthday is in November. So it was a few weeks before my birthday. So I'm an outdoor girl. I enjoy like hiking. I enjoy fishing. I'm not one you'll find in the clubs, or I did that back in the day, but things that I enjoy. Like I really love the outdoors. I'll hike, I'll fish, I'll quad bike, and I love water. Ngiyawathanda kakhulu amanzi. So I was like, I'm a bit pre-rich. The only way I can afford to spoil myself, let me go to Artis. There's water. I'll be happy there. So we planned my birthday weekend with this gentleman. And then the whole time we've been having fun. I love cars. We'd go to Wheels and Spin to go watch Amagusheshe spinning. Those are the kind of
You're
things.
just going out and just having fun
We're
as a
going
couple.
out.
Yeah.
We're having fun as a couple. And on the week of my birthday, he's like, I know you love tattoos. So I booked for us to go get a tattoo. It's like, whoa, well done. You're very attentive. I like that.
Yeah.
So I knock off on a Thursday, and then he's scheduled for us to go and get matching tattoos. We went, we got the matching tattoos. It was a Chinese symbol, and it's the word love.
Thank God. I thought you guys are gonna write
No,
Sonto, my love.
no, no,
Josiah. You know.
not even. So we got matching tattoos on our shoulders, same shoulder. Kumnandi, yazi quite love lives here, couple goals, type of thing. And then the weekend for the getaway finally arrives. I knock off from work on Friday, confirm the booking with the lady at Artepias where we were meant to be staying. Phew, yeah. And then I drove back home. So he was like, no, I'm in Gisase station. I'm just wrapping up a few things and so forth. So I was like, great. Where do we meet? He's like, no, let's meet at the station. I've already packed my stuff and so forth. I go home. I'd already packed. I just needed to just collect my stuff so we could drive off. And then I went home. I collected my belongings. And when we get to the station, my thinking is we're going to use his car. It's bigger, it's got more boot space. When it comes to that, I am a typical lady. I've overpacked, as we always do. And the place we were going to was a self-catering chalet. So I'm thinking, okay, we'll pass by, grab a few items and whatnot. It makes more sense to travel in his car. And when I get there, he's carrying his stuff out of his boots coming towards my car. Now I'm doing the math in my head. Like, how's this going to work? So I ask him, babe, why are we using my car? My car is smaller and yours is perfect for this trip. No, your car is more fun. Let's use your car.
What kind of a car were you driving?
I was driving a Mini Cooper at the time. So he's like, no, your car is more fun. And that's when I should have seen the red flag. Because in the past few weeks, he was always giving me his car to use. And it would always be with the excuse of, hey, baby, your car is dirty. Take this one. I'll wash it up and fill up for you. Oh, wow. Perfect gentleman. Little did I know. And then, okay, we drive to Artepias. Have a beautiful weekend. Beautiful weekend. We had fun to a point, Yoguti, when we had to check out on Sunday. The lady was like, you guys can stay as long as you want. Forget this check out at 10 o'clock thing. And at that place, there's 2 swimming pools. So he made sure our chalet was directly in front of the swimming pool so I could have access. Like I said, I love water. I think I was a mermaid in my past life or whatever the case is. So we're sitting, we in this chalet, and then this lady comes to us. She's like, there's a bigger pool, but our guests don't normally use it. Would you like to use it? Great shot. We meet another couple there. And manje sesirelaxile, it's Sunday, we have to go back home, but whoa. Sirelaxile kumnandi. And then eventually we checked out. Ngabo 4:30, 5 in the afternoon. Now we're driving back home. Still fun. Kumnandi. We're just a little exhausted. We have work tomorrow. His friend has a club in Honeydew.
Okay.
So he's like, let's pass by Siobona Uso and so and just say hi. We get to the club, but now I'm a bit uncomfortable because there's work tomorrow. You understand? So we get there, we're chilling, but I'm not really having fun. So I just whisper politely in his ear that it's Sunday. Can we please not stay long? And it's like, yeah, no, it's cool. And then I think the second time I whispered to him, Uguti, like after an hour or so, Uguti, oh, dude, time. We've got work tomorrow. That's where it all started. um, he got upset. He got upset. He started acting up and so forth. Verbally, that is. And then I was like, yo, let me just dismiss this. Now I'm being antisocial. I'm just sitting on my phone. I'm not engaging with everyone else. We were in the VIP section with the owner of the club and his wife, you know. So now I've detached from the whole conversation because now I'm panicking. I'm a very punctual person. I respect people's time. I respect my time. I respect my job and everything. So I'm now uncomfortable because I need to go rest. We've had a hectic weekend. Eventually, we drive home. This is where the problem started. Now we're driving home. We're no longer speaking in the car. Whole weekend has been spoiled. As we're driving home, he drives straight to my place. Remember, we left his car at the station where he works. Drives straight to my place, and when we get to my place, now he's a gentleman again. He comes out, opens the door for me, and then he opens the boot. How, baby? Kanjani manje? Am I not dropping you off at the station so you can get your car, go home? I get my car, go home. No, baby, don't worry. I'll drop you off at work. But kanjani? Because we've had this conversation. The last few times you dropped me off at work, you work for a government institution and you're very nonchalant about your job. You walk in and out as and when you please.
Yeah.
I don't have that luxury. I'm never late for work. To a point where I'm 17, they tease me. We've got a gym on site. So at the time, I was at work by 5 o'clock because I'm going to gym first and then showering at work, then quickly in the office, same premises. So even my boss would like, ha, I'm a security, avulelwe uwe," instead of them, like he teased me like that. Like that's how punctual I am. So I'm very finicky about his cuts. And then he's like, no, I'll take you to work. I'm like, no, 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 no. I get back in the car. I'm like, please drive to the station, get your own car. He's now back in the car, in the driver's seat. I'm in the passenger seat. I don't know what happened, when it happened. I saw stars. Sengishayiwe manje with the fist. Now I'm wearing a jumpsuit, a white jumpsuit. It's summer. Now I'm bleeding. Like, yo, that was quick. It was first a fist. And while I was still trying to comprehend the fist and holding on to my eye, his hand is now in the cubby hole where his state firearm was, which is another red flag, which I should have seen because this guy, the whole time we were at AR Tobias, he was obviously wearing shorts and whatnot, but his firearm was in my handbag.
All the time.
All the time. No, I knew about it.
Okay.
I knew, yes, but it should have raised questions because I don't think that is how you handle a gun. I'm not trained to handle a gun. I don't have a firearm license. Why am I holding your gun? I feel like that should have clicked in my mind. Why are you so careless about? He opens the cubby hole, grabs the firearm, the back of the gun, the butt, hits me with it in the head. And now I'm screaming. He gets into panic mode, puts the car in drive, and then he drives. So as he's driving, this is from my gate, outside my gate where he was meant to be dropping me off. He drives, gets to the T junction, turns left. So at the time where I was staying, there's only one way in and one way out. And then when he gets there, I now start panicking. And I think I pulled the handbrake. And what saved me, there was a vehicle coming from behind. So as I'm pulling the handbrake, imoto is going in. This is a residential street. It's not going so fast, imoto. As I pull the handbrake, there's a vehicle coming from behind us. Mayiza, this vehicle from behind us, it's some lady. I think in her mind, she assumed it's a drunk driver. She got really annoyed because now the vehicle is now straddling the lanes. She can't overtake from the left or the right. So her way is obstructed. I don't know why she was so brave, but she got out of her car and she came towards my car. As she was getting out of her car to come towards my car, Ukai has already jumped out of my vehicle. He's fleeing on foot now. Uyabaleka. This lady sees ukuthi I'm bleeding. Manje nami, my vision is not so clear because ngishayekile by my eye. I'm still bleeding and I had some blood coming out of my ear. And then this lady immediately grabs her cell phone and she goes onto the community group. You know how AMA communities would have a group. She goes onto the group. She sends a voice message and she alerts the community. There's a lady here. I can actually even still hear that voice note. She says, there's a lady here, uhlala on so-and-so street, driving such and such a vehicle registration number, so and so and so. She takes a picture of my car. She takes a picture of me. She sends it on the group. Before I knew it, the community was there. CPF members were there. Ngithukile, like I'm shaking. And the CPF members arrive and I just heard instructions, call the police and whatnot. They called Amapoyisa. We were in the jurisdiction of Boysons, so Boysons SAPS had to attend. Boysons police arrive. They were actually quite responsive for Amapoyisa.
The time when he flee from the scene, did he take his firearm with him?
It's on him.
Okay.
It's on him. So the police arrive, and when the police arrive, now the CPF members are like covering me up, because now I'm bloody, and I'm wearing something white. It's a whole mess. It's gruesome. The police arrive, and when these police arrive, bayabuza kwenzekeni, I tell them, the lady narrates the part that she saw. She confirms, I saw him running away and he's got a firearm. Because she also got scared when she saw the gun. And she was surprised to hear it was my boyfriend. Because when she saw the firearm and the guy running away, she thought it was a possible hijacking and so forth. And then Amapoyisa come, and then out of nowhere, this guy reappears. I don't know where he had run off to, but like I say, there's only one way in and one way out. But that is for vehicles. On foot, you could easily navigate your way around and not be found. I think maybe because he was not so familiar with the area, because remember, we'd only dated isikhathi esincane and he'd only been to my place a few times. Nakhona, to show how briefly we had dated, he had never been inside my house. He knows it from outside because I was not at the point where I'm comfortable enough to invite you in, type of thing. So, boys and saps arrive. Funny enough, there were ladies there as well. And now he's reappeared out of wherever he was. And I narrate the story to them. And when they learned that he's one of their own, they were like, sis, this is a domestic issue. Cela nisolveni indaba zenu, nikhulumeni because izofaka lo muntu enkingeni. They got into their vehicle. I'm bleeding. No care in the world to call for medical assistance or to at least get me there. I'm bleeding. Lungisani indaba zenu, this is a domestic issue. Nizoba right. They get into their car, they drive off. They drove off, and now the CPF members are mad. They're going crazy. Uyabona ukuthi mob justice ingenzakala at any time, but some of them were being reasonable enough. And so this one CPF member says to me, usebenza kuphi lo muntu? No, usebenzela la eDeep Kloof. Ati, are you comfortable for us to go to La Sebenza Khona, siyombophisa khona? I'm still feeling okay at the time, even though I'm bleeding. I'm like, please, let's do so. Ngithi, may you please drive? Angekho right. Hand him over. Oh, now he'd come back with my keys, because when he fled, he left with my keys. I can't remember how we got my keys back in that whole commotion. And he does, he's got a side hustle, Yama Uber.
Okay.
So he called one of his drivers to come and get him. And then myself and the CPF guy, we're now going to a police station where he works. When we get there, I'm a poise. When we get there, we try to open a case. Guess what? Another woman calls me aside, leaves the CPF member there, because now the CPF member is causing commotion. He's telling these officers at the charge office, you need to open a case. No, it's not at a restriction, wara, wara, wara. And he tells them, we called the poisons. They left the scene. So you guys need to do something about this. They refuse. So now the CPF member grabs his phone and he tells them, I'm taking pictures of all of y'all. He starts making a video, who's on duty, and they are refusing to open a case for us. Okay, this lady now calls me aside. Maudlula, the charge office, there's a place, it's kind of like an atrium. There's like beautiful garden there. I mean, I'm thinking I'm being taken to one of those private rooms, where
counseling happens.
yes,
and stuff like
yes.
That.
And just for me to be comfortable enough. No. Usisi ahlale phansi. Athi kimi nakombela, please calm down.
Abulabula Shangan.
Yes, abulabula Shangan. So, ngithi, okay, I'm calm. Like, I'm thinking she wants me to be able to narrate what happened.
Yeah.
And then she says, yazi ukuthi reporter lento. Uyazi angithi ukuthi umuntu wakho has got kids. I'm well aware. He's going to lose his job. And uyangishaya manje. And I'm like, I feel like you should have thought of that before hitting me with a state firearm. Uguti, he's got kids. And so forth. I'm like, so you are the people that encourage this to happen. She begs me. Manje, I'm starting to get dizzy. I think I'm losing too much blood or whatever. And CPF member naye, his attempts are now all in vain. And he's like, let me just take you to a bar. And it's, no, I've got medical aid. Ngicela to so-and-so hospital.
Yeah.
We get there. We get to the hospital. And then I'm like, you've already done enough. Late, thank you very much. It's like, no, I can stay. And I'm like, please call your wife and at least let your wife know Uguti, you with me here at the... And then we were waiting in the waiting room, esibhedlela.
Yeah.
And then one of the male nurses came and attended to me, because now the light, doctor instructed them, no, the light could cause damage to her eyes. So they put me in one of the rooms, a casualty. So they had to have the lights off. And now the CPF guy, I've already requested for him. It was getting cold, usehlale too long, and he's not even allowed to be with me in this room, nonetheless. So I was like, no, if I'm struggling to drive, I'll call you to just at least please help me go drive. Now I'm sitting in this room, a casualty. It's dark as per the doctor's instructions, just so my eye doesn't get affected.
Yeah.
And I can hear someone is walking into the room, because the male nurse who was attending to me, we don't know each other, but he heard isiZulu Sami and was like, where are you from? And I'm like, no, I'm from Nkandla. He's like, oh, I'm also from Nkandla. Now we are addressing each other as Mkai. I hear footsteps in the room, because now my eyes, I'm keeping them closed. I'm assuming, oh, okay, it's this male nurse. He's here to check on me. It wasn't. Guess who it was?
Who was it?
Oh, baby.
What the heck?
Angazi ukuthi ufike nini kanjani. Now he's changed. He's looking all clean. There's no spatters of blood from ufikile laphana. Now he's warm and everything. Still with the firearm in his thing. Now he's scripting me.
Is he wearing uniform?
No,
Anything like that?
no. He doesn't wear uniform, vele. He's, I think, in a CID or whatever. He doesn't wear uniform to work. Ufikile, he's just freshened up. He's clean now.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is he saying? Is he saying, hey, baby, right, Njani?
Forget what he's saying. How do you know I'm here? Ufike kanjani? I'm not even at the part of what he's saying yet. Ufike kanjani? Like, how do you know I'm here? Till today, I don't know how he knew I was there. It's not even here, baby. Sorry, I'm being scripted. Lalelake. This was an attempted hijacking, and he's pointing at his firearm. Uyang script ukuthi you are going to say what I'm telling you to say. Obviously, with such wounds and so forth, medical personnel need to probe further. Ukuthi what happened? Ganjan. I'm scripted now. Like, no, it was an attempted hijacking. Angithi ngikhonjiswe spam. Ukuthi you're going to say as I tell you. It was an attempted hijacking. Bangishayile. I'm describing exactly what happened, but now I'm putting different people behind the firearm and not him. You understand? Okay, I get kept there and so forth. Discharged ekseni with medication and so forth. He fetches me.
Sure, did you not try call your dad, your uncle by any chance? A friend?
I didn't.
Close by Joburg?
No. I didn't. Ugayi uhleli phela lana. Even when I was being taken to X-ray, when the porter was pushing me, he was walking with us to the X-ray room for me to get X-ray because my nose was a bit disallocated and so forth. Lana, he's walking with us to get the X-ray done. Mangbuya, waiting for the results because doctor couldn't just discharge me without assessing the extent of the damages. He's walking with us, Masia, for the X-ray. Okay, Anglandu baby. Baby is now going to take care of me. Sisuka lapho, we are now going back to where the very same friend where this whole thing started. Friend umZulu naye, and he calms me down nice. Siswami ngiyacela dadewethu, you know. The friend is the one that's being remorseful and apologetic. Ubhuti is like, remember who and where we are. And then it clicked. There's a point where it reminded me of an incident that had occurred. Sasise Kawash naye. And he did something stupid. So I got in the car and then I just drove off. And when we met later, wathi kimi, yazi wena sonto ufike sengisoft. If it was the old so-and-so, I don't want to say his name. If it was the old so-and-so, ngabe kudala ngikubulele wena. But he said it as if he's joking at the time. I remembered it when this was happening.
Yeah.
You've kind of been showing me who you are. Okay, angithatheke siye kwamngani, and then umngani and himself take me to a Clicks to go get some of the meds that were prescribed. And then sisuke lapho, now I've got a new residence for 3 days. I'm not sure if you're familiar with E-Trade Route Mall, ngase He bought a stand there, and then apparently mangabuteng stand, you have to put some sort of structure. So it's become an informal settlement. Because naye ufake umkhukhu khona. He had recently had bricks delivered there to start building. So maungena laphayana, you can drive in to his premises, and then imoto, Mini Cooper is a tiny car. Iyafihleka by bricks. So umuntu who's on the outside cannot see because bricks are mounted in such a way yokuthi akubonakali. The building hasn't started. Lo mkhukhu needs to be deconstructed first. Ngivalelwe emkhukhwini for 3 days.
That's kidnapping.
Yes.
By a cop.
Yes. Ngivalelwe emkhukhwini. I'm now given instructions to call my employer and tell them how about the attempted hijacking and so forth. I called my employer and I told my employer the same thing. ukuthi angikho right, ngilimele, there was an attempt at hijacking and so forth. Anyway, fast forward to now when I get back to work.
How did he do it? I'm trying to understand because you guys, basically. Did he tie you up?
No.
The time when you were forced to tell your employer, did he put a gun there so that he makes sure that
I would be lying. Angithi, I know the gun is there. The only time where I was shown the gun is in hospital when I was being scripted. If I say he tied me up, I'd be lying. I think nami nje ngase exhausted. Like I was just exhausted from the whole thing, and I was being strategic in my own head. Okay, let me pretend I'm calm. I don't want him to, because angazi ukuthi inhloboni yesilwane lesengibhekene naso.
Were you not scared though?
I was worried about my daughter. I wasn't scared at the time, no. I was in pain from the beatings, but I wasn't scared. No, I wasn't scared. So I called my employer, told him the story. The thing is, Lento, it happened in October. Guess when I eventually managed to open a case? February, the following year. Because every time they heard that he's one of his own, I was being dismissed. 6 attempts later, only then was I successful in opening a case. Because this whole time, I'm pretending what is right, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm not letting this go. Sihlukene though. Sihlukene. Eventually, when he allowed me to go home, after this 3 days of being in a shack, busy, going to buy King Skotlol in the Shokeza.
Yeah.
Because that Mkuku literally had nothing but a bed. An old bed. Nakon. Oh, up and down now, buying izitsha zokuthi ngeze, buying I don't even like takeaway, for God's sake. Like, especially if you're gonna force feed it to me. I'm a very clean eater. I like to prepare my own food. I'm eating takeaway the whole time. I have to drink these meds. And okay, eventually I got out of it. I managed to open a case. So here's the interesting parts. Now I'm back at work. I get a call. I don't really answer numbers I don't know, but it was persistent. Now I'm thinking I've got family. This could be an emergency. Let me take this call. Sonto, hello. Hi, Miss Ndima. You are speaking to Detective so-and-so. Oh, hi, Detective Unjan. Ngiyaphila. There's a case open against you. Against me? For what? For malicious damage to property. Whose property? Case ivulwe so and so. Okay, assault and malicious damage to property. Yes, please come to the station. Let's talk about this. These charges can easily be dropped. Yabo leyo colleague yakho engibophisile. Here's my work address. Here's my home address. Do your job and come and arrest me. I'm not coming to talk about anything. This is now in an attempt to frighten me and get me to drop the charges against him. Because waboshwa, eventually when I managed to open the case, poisons, and my case was being handled by a female officer. And waboshwa wayohlala eSun City for 7 days when they do the investigations and whatnot. So in an attempt to threaten me to drop the case, uvula a case against me of something that never happened. Okay, so I tell this cop, no man, do your job. I'm not coming to talk about anything. There's a case opened against me. Here's my work address. Here's my home address. Come and get me. Days pass by. Nothing happens. I get a call from this cop again. I'm like, I'm sick of this nonsense. This guy's not going to do this to me. I call my lawyer. I call my employer. I remember it was on a Monday morning. Okay, this is what happened. May you please excuse me for the day. And then I call my lawyer and please meet me at Diepkloof police station. I hear there's a case opened against me, so I want to go hand myself in because these cops are clearly not doing their job. Bangitshela ukuthi angize station sizokhuluma. Since when do you negotiate with a criminal? Because I'm a criminal at this point if there's a case opened against me. My lawyer shows up at the station. I show up, I get handcuffed, fingerprints, DNA, and I go into the cells. I go into the cells with my phone. Siyaqala-ke manje film, what you've heard is nothing. I've still got my phone on me. Ngiphakathi kuma-holding cells. Sengithathile ama-fingerprints and everything. Ngimele i-truck ezophuma iyise iboshwa e-court. I get a call from a friend of mine. He's now late. He was umuntu of the streets. He knew people everywhere. He calls me, Mandim, do me a favor. Ngizwile ukuthi usuboshiwe. There's people there that I know. Do me a favor. They're going to bring in food, lab. Yours is going to come separately. Don't touch it. It's been tampered with. Oh, okay. Sure, mfethu, grand, ngiyabonga. Kudlula isikhashana nje futhi kuze lokudla. Okamandima is separate. It's a whole tray of bread like stacked up all together and a huge flask of tea and whatnot. Kuze lokudla. But okwami kuza separately. I just accepted it, gracefully accepted the food, ngabonga. Ngabeka laphayana mina eceleni. Angithi I got the heads up now. Ukuthi don't touch that thing. So these cops amongst each other, they baxabana bodwa within the station. So laba abangamthandi were giving the information to my friend. Ukuthi lalela A, B, C, and D. Okay, ifike this big truck. That was an experience, yes. You know when you laugh, but you're not laughing because something is funny. I think it was a shock reaction. Because the whole time I was laughing. Singeneke kule truck, siye a station.
Yeah.
Masiya station, not to the station, pardon me, to a court. Masifike court. Ubhuti ubanikeze i-address yami. Uthi uhlala nami. When I was granted bail by the court, my bail condition was I am not allowed to go to my own place of residence, my own.
How is that possible, Wafid? How is that possible?
For a good week, I was wearing the same clothes and.
You couldn't be able to go
I'm
to
not allowed to go to my own place. I've got no access to impahla, no access. Luckily, my work laptop was in the booth because on that day, I was planning to go to work, but now I was getting tired of these cops harassing me and telling me, there's a case opened against me, but they're doing nothing. My bail conditions were, I cannot go to my place because I am a threat to him. My place. It took my lawyer 2 months for her to get me back to my place, having to reach out to my landlord, amnikeze lease agreements to show ukuthi I'm the one who actually belongs there, not him. And thank God, he contradicted himself because when he got out, Sun City, he had to sign something and bail condition he can't leave the country, he can't and he must show his address. So he signed La Pahlala Khona. Guess what I learned? His wife signed for him. Mayepum.
Hey, Sisonto.
Yeah, so Useb swung faila because in the end, this thing was Yazuge court is very daunting. I'm taking time off work. I'm seeing this person in my court case out too. My case against him, his case against me. Where he lies, it's ngamdabulela ishethi lomsebenzi akayigqoki nokuyigqoka uniform yomsebenzi. Yabo, the inconsistencies nje were just there. Mina with my case, I have recordings of these ladies. I have witnesses, CPF members that drove me that were, oh, God bless their lives, because they held my hand throughout the whole process. I remember one of the CPF guy who took me to hospital. He had landed a job in Northwest. Whenever I had to go to court, he would drive and come back to make sure he's there as a witness. We got to a point, my case was dismissed against him. Me, on the other hand, I got community service. I-community service, ithi angiyoklina the station la asebenza khona. I asked the magistrate, I will do the community service, I'm okay. Please send me to a different station. What, you are going there? You are going there. I'm cleaning the police station. I'm cleaning dirty toilets. Pregnant at the time. Luckily, the guy that I was signing to, Mangzotlina, he was like, yo, but you're pregnant, man. And ubona this, 3 days into the 5-day community service, I've been mopping toilets. I've been... Yeah. But Zayaki Casey was dismissed. And to a certain point, I feel like my own father failed me as well with that one, because I kept calling him. I kept him updated. He was reading the newspaper articles. Daddy, please guide me. How do I get this to the iPad? Because they did the internal investigation. The only thing that they did was to take away his state firearm. But he was being protected from every angle. As a result, I just saw him 3 weeks ago. He is walking the streets freely, even after they found out during investigations, ukuthi, I am the 4th woman. I'm just the only one who pursued the case and didn't drop it. One is in a mental institution somewhere.
Oh.
Ukhona kodwa. Ngiqeda ukumdlula enyameni yenhloko 3 weeks ago. Uyahamba freely, and he's getting more and more arrogant by the day.
Did you not think that maybe your father doesn't want this thing to get messy, because a gunfight between cops wouldn't end well?
My dad would never approach the situation in that manner. I was asking for legal guidance. I was asking for the correct channels to follow. My father lives in Durban. It wouldn't have gotten to that. I didn't even bother telling my uncle. My uncle is a very down-to-earth, humble guy. He probably would have dismissed it too. I told my other uncle, Yenage, he's an officer as well, but a taxi violence.
Yeah.
And he was very honest with me. What's on to let this thing go? I'm a police protector. Just let it go. That infuriated me.
Yeah. Do you feel like you got justice after the arrest, him going to jail for 7 days and coming back?
No. That was protocol. They had to pretend like something is being done. I never got justice.
According to you, what would have been justice?
According to me, justice would have been this guy going behind bars. I'm not the first woman. I'm the 4th. Mele kuze kwenzakaleni khona ufanele aphunyelwe umphefumulo for people to see ukuthi this guy is a danger to society. Is that what must happen? Where's the justice in him going to prison for 7 days? Because that just made him more arrogant. He came out with the attitude of I'm back. Where's the justice in that?
He abused his power, man.
He swore to serve and to protect. He did the total opposite. I heard word on the street he's being suspended because of many other criminal activities that he's doing. Now all of a sudden they want to rope me in. Ngaqale ngamreport. Wafika endlini yami with a stolen laptop, a state laptop. Wayintshontsha. I think it had some evidence of some sort. Wazoyifihla endlini yami. Ngayireport, it was swept under the carpet. Washayisa ehamba ngemoto ye-state esuka kimi edakiwe. Ngayireport, it was swept under the carpet. This is in the... Bear in mind, their relationship didn't even last long. It was a relationship of weeks, but probably in your mind, you're thinking, I'm speaking of years of a relationship. I'm not. Nkuluma no more than 3 weeks. It was very brief.
How you feeling now?
I'm angry. I'm angry. Ngicasukile. Look at all Olerato or the sad thing, Justice, is ukuthi I'm not only angry at the police. I'm angry at men. I'm angry at men. I was listening, coming here, bekudlala ingoma kaThandiswa Mazwai, le nizilibele ukuba nizalwa ngobani. We are the women that are birthing these men. I don't know where it goes wrong. Why are you now turning against us? Why are you hurting us instead of protecting us? Ungishayela imoto yami, ungishayela ukuthi ufuna ukusebenzisa imoto yami, indaba ungangiceli kahle ukuthi okay sharp, ngifuna ukusebenzisa imoto. Asiye station, please continue using my car. I really enjoy your car. Ungishayela imoto yami engivukayo ngiyoyisebenzela. The same msebenzi that is paying for this car that you like so much, you are disrespecting it by getting me to work late. I'm angry. I'm angry. Into ebuhlungu ukuthi manje I'm at a point ukuthi I'm angry towards men because of izinto ezenzakalayo. Like I was not only failed by the cops with that scenario. I was hijacked manje in February. It was men again. It was men again. Ngafika station, station commander, his very words were after the hijacking, what do you people still go and do there? Yesterday I collected 2 bodies there. Why ungchika? Why ungchika for ukuthi you collected 2 bodies there? Why are you not doing something about it? You know that area is dangerous. You get these cases every day. Why ungthethisa? Protect me.
I'm sorry about what happened to you, Sisonto.
Yeah, thank you.
That was wrong. That was illegal. I'm probably sure you went into a relationship besides the love, but you thought that you were going to be more protected.
I did.
Because this guy is a cop.
It was an expectation. I expected to be protected.
You got the opposite.
I got the total opposite. It's come to a point yokuthi ngisho ngibona something happening. I would rather try to help as an individual than to call the police. I won't waste my battery on those people, ngiyaxolisa, to refer to them as those people.
Have you lost hope on the police? South African police?
I have. I've lost hope in the South African police. I have zero hope in them. Like I say, even if I were to see an incident, I have more faith in mob justice than the South African police. I've got hatred towards the South African police. I've got hatred towards the South African police. Recently, when I was hijacked, I had all the information. I had all the leads. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. I've been zangalutho.
The minute when you leave home, how safe do you feel?
Yo, I'm grieving my freedom. At this point in my life, don't ask me who Usonto is because I don't have the answer to that. That's where it's gotten to. I think I did share earlier on, I'm an outdoors person. Don't invite me to a club. Okay, invite me for lunch. I'll gladly honor the invite.
Yeah.
Invite me for fishing. That's okay. I'm scared to go to those spaces. Since February, after I was hijacked, angazi ukuthi ngenzani. I've got nothing to look forward to on the weekend. The only hobby that I still get to enjoy is to read. I can't go hiking. Ngiyasaba. I can't go emanzini. Ngiyasaba. I'm scared. The scary thing is ukuthi, these people blend in so well. My guard was completely down when I was hijacked. It was completely down because these criminals blended in, they fitted in. They were one of us until a gun was held to my friend's head. I don't feel safe anyway. I don't feel safe. I'm sitting with you here now. My live location is sent to God knows how many people. That's how bad it is. I've lost my identity as a person because I don't get to do izinto engiyithandayo. It's not safe. I can't look forward to tomorrow morning and say, I'm going to go for a hike. Ngiyasaba, even in the secure places where you pay to hike. Ngiyasaba. I'm scared. I don't feel safe at all.
Just in closing, what would you say to women out there, especially women who are dating cops? Would you say that the minute when they see just one red flag, they should just stop and leave?
I don't want to say anything to women, Justice, because these people, they come in that it's angazi ngifila ngathi they research you first because they are very attentive. They the reason I say I don't want to say anything to women, angifuni ukuthi when a woman finds herself in the situation that I found myself in, blame the same way that I am blaming myself now. But you saw the gun in your cubby hole. Why didn't you? You saw this behavior. Why didn't you? That's why I don't want to say anything to women because there's nothing specific to look out for. Nothing is a clear red flag. You only get to reflect on it once something has happened. So I honestly have nothing to say to women, but we are not safe. We're not safe. I won't speak for men. I'm not saying men are safe and everything because I know there are male victims out there, many of them, and I feel like it's even worse for them because when a man goes into a police station, uyahlekwa. Men are being beaten by their wives, but they cannot report that. I've got friends who are struggling to see their children because women are keeping their children from them. Bayasaba ukuyoreport such incidents because bayahlekwa at our police stations. So honestly, what is there to say?
So you're no longer with him?
No.
Would you ever be with a cop again?
Never. Even if a cop stops me on the road, especially SAPS, I would drive to the nearest police station nakhona ngazi ukuthi ngiyowenzani before stopping because angibathembi.
You're a brave woman. You're a strong woman. It's not easy to be in that position. And I know that there's going to be more women out there who's going to watch this and they're going to be inspired. They'll be able to be more strong because of your story.
I pray ukuthi they draw strength from my story because it's scarier to leave than to stay. It's scarier to leave. Yes, there's nothing more painful than being hurt by the person you're expecting to protect you. Kuyasabisa lokho.
It's painful.
Mm.
Thank you, Sisonto.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time, you coming here, sharing your story. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.